Hello, you beautiful people. It is another great day outside. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I was kind of looking forward to doing this today because now I've got it all figured out. So I know it's gonna work. I don't have to struggle and make it work. So it's been pretty cool. But otherwise, yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out outside. It's slowly starting to get warmer here, which is nice. But otherwise, it's pretty cool. Or I'm actually going into Cusco tomorrow, um, which has got its benefits and drawbacks. There's some things that I need from Cusco, but there's also some things that I have to deal with because I'm going to Cusco. It's like a 2-hour trip from here ish, if memory serves. But anyway, um, essentially, there's a few main problems. The first one, which has a solution, but I'm a little worried about, is I have a dog named Orko, and Orko has never been really away from us for a longer, individually, he's been away from us, but not together, like both of us gone. So this is going to be the first time Orko is going to be alone in his puppy life. But kind of the solution that I had for that one, or that me and my partner had for that one, was basically Orko is going to go to a daycare. So we're hoping he likes it. Essentially, both of us are planning on going to the US and not bringing Orko with us. So there are many daycares in and around Cusco. So we're really hoping to find one that he likes so that he can get comfortable staying with someone else and away from us, which we're both kind of a bit nervous about, just because I don't know if me or my partner leaves, he starts howling and crying at the door until we come back, which is not good. Um, Even if the other one's still in the house, he starts howling and crying at the door. So it's not great because it's like foreshadowing attachment issues and stuff. Which I mean, he's a puppy, but we don't really want that. There was during COVID, there was this phenomenon, I guess, phenomena where a lot of people were getting dogs, either had gotten dogs right before COVID started, or I'm picking sticky balls off my shoe. I'm sorry. Either had gotten dogs right before COVID had started, or um, they got them during COVID in the US. And there was this phenomenon called Velcro dogs, where essentially the dog was literally with their person every hour of every day, which made some pretty funny videos of dogs pushing open the bathroom door and crying outside bathroom doors and stuff because they don't want to be away from their owner. Um, and which is cute. Hi, speak of the devil. Come here, Bubba. Come here. 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 Oh, I'm hurting you. I'm sorry. Oh, you got the zoomies. That's why. Okay. So yeah, there's oh, let me see if I can get him. What go? Anyway, there's this. Yeah, so there was it's not great that the dogs couldn't even survive a few minutes without their owner, but we really don't want him to turn into that. So we want to get him used to going to the daycare. So this is good, but also he's kind of like my baby, and I don't really want him to be sad, but at the same time, sad is good. He needs to experience his emotions and get comfortable with them because I'm not going to be around 100% of the time, whether that's because I have things to do or because I have places to be or something happens and I just can't be here. Anyway, so he's got to get used to that, but it's good. Otherwise, he's been pretty good. That's the first issue when going into Cusco for me personally. The second one is the ride into Cusco, which is up and over these mountains. It's in a bowl, it's 2 hours that way. The second issue is it's a really nauseating drive. For those of you that don't get motion sickness, it's not going to be a problem for you at all. You'll probably enjoy the drive because it's absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. If you ever go from the Sacred Valley up into Cusco, and even for those of you that do not get motion sickness in cars, you might still because it's rough. But yeah, the ride up is I'm nauseous every single time, and it's so funny because if you put me in a boat with water, I could outlast anyone as far as motion sickness goes. Like I've been in situations where I've been around literal Navy SEALs who have been trained or who don't get motion sickness or never got motion sickness in a crazy situation in a boat. I was fine, and the Navy SEALs were like puking over the side of the thing. I don't know why I'm immune to seasickness. I'm just immune to it. But with car sickness, though, well, that's my kryptonite. As soon as you put me in a car for longer than 10 minutes, I can barely breathe. It's rough, rough. So I don't know if you guys have any weird stuff like that where basically you can be in one vehicle and be fine, but in another vehicle it destroys you. I had a friend who was great in boats and cars, but as soon as you put them on a roller coaster, they start throwing up over the side before the thing even leaves the station. And I'm sure part of that was just nerves, but the other part of that was definitely the roller coaster itself. But they got on roller coasters anyway. They would just get on them, throw up, and enjoy it. Throw up a couple times and get off. So they wouldn't eat until the end of the day. It was of theme parks. It was actually really funny going to theme parks with them. So yeah, but good stuff. So yeah, going over the mountains, the motion sickness, that's also a rather rough part that I am not a fan of, but all things considered, it's not really the biggest deal to be um I guess what's the word? It's not the biggest deal. It's not the biggest thing to be complaining. Yeah, complaining about. I'm not really complaining about it. It's just I have to go in, and those are kind of the things that I'm not really excited about. And then the last thing, Cusco's a lot more like hustle bustle party, finding things that you wouldn't normally find, stuff like that. So it can get overwhelming rather quickly. It's nowhere near like a New York or like a Lima, or any other city. It's not like that, but the best way I could describe it is like Iquitos around the airport, or where else? There's a few different places, but basically it's like high concentration of people all in one small area. So, you get traffic all of a sudden, um people angry and rushing from place to place. Not the full New York effects, but like small bits and all that stuff. So it's kind of the last thing. But otherwise I am very excited for a few reasons as well to go to Cusco. One of which kind of contradictory to the thing that I had said, Orko, I'm excited for him to get the chance to like be and learn that he can be on his own with friends because he's going to a doggy daycare. The second one is there's just some things up there that you can't get here. Like they have a Chili's up there. I'm sure if you watched any of my videos, or if you've watched enough of my videos, I should say, you've seen me nearby Chili's on multiple occasions because there's one Chili's and I just happen to like to be near it, even though I never eat at it because my partner's allergic to soy. I do get very close to it. Maybe I'll go tomorrow. We'll see. If I go to Chili's, I'll make a video and a review compared to U.S. Chili's because I'm a Chili's guy. Only because it's cheap and the food isn't like spectacular, but you get the consistency of like a fast food place because it's almost always the same food and the same quality. So you get the consistency of like that fast food, but you get the dining experience. Sounds probably super nerdy, but I don't know, like you get to sit down and eat and have a server, but you also get like that fast food effect. I like that. There's a lot of those like Chili's. I don't know if you consider Sonic one, but they're up in like the northern area. There's like T-Bones. There was one Ricky's, Little Ricky's, I think, in Boston. Anyway, but like one of those places where like it's kind of like fast food. I got a splinter in my hand. This is crazy. It's kind of like fast food, but you just sit down and enjoy it at the same time. T-Bones in New Hampshire is really good. Like all classic all American food. If you're not like an all American food type person, maybe you won't like it, but pretty good. Anyway, I'm getting really off track here. So, but yeah, they have a lot of things like Chili's, bubble tea. They even have a Burger King over there. Shops and like items that I wouldn't normally be able to find. So I'm excited to like get some of those items because I normally don't get those here. Like even chocolate, the chocolate that there's here. Dang it, I have a bunch of questions, but I'm driving. Baby bag, yeah. It's all right, Bill. I'll be here for the next anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. So, take your time, drive safe, don't crash. That's really important. There will always be next week too. Um, and if you send me questions in the comments underneath the videos, I'll try to make videos about them when I get the chance. This particular week, I've been kind of taking it easy because I've pre-recorded the videos for Monday and Friday. But usually I record the video a couple days before. So if you don't get to ask in here and you send it over, I'll make sure to answer those. But obviously that's what I'm here for too, is to answer any questions that people have. But yeah, I'm excited to go back to New York though. Well, let me roll back to Cusco. So yeah, there's a few things. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to New York in the near future, and I'm going there for a wedding. So my partner's getting a dress made or buying a dress. I'm pretty sure it's being made, but anyway, getting a dress. We'll just say it's getting made. She's getting a dress made in Cusco, so we're gonna go check on the progress of that. Potentially get me a suit made. We'll see. I have a lot of suits in the U.S. I am a big fan of wearing suits, although my maybe demeanor and normal clothes don't show that. I do really like wearing suits. They just aren't. I'm not in a lot of situations where I need to wear them. And as funny as I think it would be to wear a suit to every single live I did, I think that'd get tacky pretty quickly too. I kind of like the comfortable conversation we have on here. Um, but yeah, I'm probably gonna get a suit made. Her dress needs to be a certain color, so I'm probably gonna get a suit made of mine that's a certain color as well. Oh Lord, the crazy man is out and about. Um, and there he goes. Um, so yeah, I'm probably gonna get a suit made that kind of will fit her outfit. But I'm excited to go back because I'm gonna get a phone again. That's exciting. I filed like an insurance claim, and I'm not even gonna send it here since I'll be there in the next couple months, couple months. Um, I'll just pick it up. So I've actually been really enjoying not having a phone. Maybe I will make a video about the perks of not having a phone, because it's been nice. It hasn't been like it wasn't as bad as I thought. There are things that are slowly starting to decay. It kind of reminds me of like, have you ever seen one of those movies that are like post-apocalyptic, but it starts in the beginning of the apocalypse and like it fast forwards later in the apocalypse, like kind of like The Walking Dead, but they kind of do it slowly over time. But anyway, it's kind of like the remnants or the echo of my phone is slowly starting to leave. So things like my main methods of communication are slowly starting to go out. Certain things that I've been using and taking for granted for a while, I'm now realizing that they have a time limit. They logged me out that I forgot about, which they need like phone verification. So it's been uh, it's been interesting watching this slow march of progress of my stuff logging out, but it really hasn't caused any problems at all. So it hasn't really been an issue. The most recent one is WhatsApp, which will probably become an issue, but it hasn't yet. So there's actually a few people that I am in contact with semi regularly that I need to maintain contact with. So we'll see. Hopefully, if I could get in contact with WhatsApp, maybe they'll relog me back in, but I doubt it. It's Facebook. Facebook historically hasn't been the best with like, we're gonna help you get your stuff back. But otherwise, yeah. I'm super excited to go back to the U.S. only because um, figured I'd show Orca running about. He's basically been ripping it back and forth this entire live. But I'm excited to get some of the things. The same reason I guess I'm excited to go to Cusco. I'm excited to get in to the US and like eat some of the foods I don't normally get, do some of the things I don't normally get to do. Um, I really want to golf for some reason. I used to golf and have fun with it, but I haven't done it in a while. I don't think I'm gonna golf while I'm there, but that would be fun to like get out to a driving range maybe and hit a few golf balls into nothingness, or even play 9 or 18 holes. Sounds like fun. Um, but yeah, it's been it's exciting for sure. I'm not a big wedding person, although I am a celebrating other people's love person. So I will be going to the wedding, excited to support their love, but not so excited that it's a wedding. So, but it'll be a good time. Um, Honestly, it's going to be like, I'm pretty sure it's a smaller wedding, which sounds amazing because there's not going to be like a lot of people that I won't know anybody because it's not my friend who's getting. That's not true. She is my friend that's getting married, um, but she wasn't my friend first, and she hasn't been my friend for very long. She was my partner's friend first, so Dan will have a lot more of an idea of what's going on. I will have to figure it out as I go. Top golf, yeah, yeah. I love me some Top Golf. Um, Actually, I used to go to Top Golf. I've been kicked out of one because I'm when I used to play golf kind of recreationally, I used to golf with my uncle. I'll call him my uncle. I don't think he's necessarily my uncle, but he might as well be. Um no, yeah, he is my uncle. I don't know the relation directly. Uncle I'm going with. Um but I've been kicked out of Top Golf a few times because I used to train with a professional golf player, not professional in any way that you would know him, but he won some tournaments and got paid for it. Um, and basically, the reason why he started training me is because I could drive a ball like crazy. But as soon as I got on the green and I started putting, I just threw. Like I just couldn't get the ball in the hole. On a par four, I'd get there in like 1, 2 hits, like, which is crazy. Depends on the par four, of course. So there's some that are rather long, some that are shorter, but I'd get there in like 1 or 2 hits, and then I would put like 5 more hits on the green trying to get it in the hole. But anyway, at Top Golf, the reason I got kicked out is because I was using the driver and I hit 2 balls outside of the net. Like I don't know how long it was, 450 yards, but it was also high, but 400, 300. I don't remember how long it was, but I basically cleared the net. And the manager, because they have ball tracking on it, came over and the manager was like, "Hey, I don't know how you hit a ball on your turn outside of the net using our clubs, but you're going to need to stop doing that." So I put the driver down and I switched to a 3 wood and I hit another ball outside the thing with a 3 wood. In golfer terms, it's just like a slightly less good club. Not less good. It's not as powerful at going far. It's meant to like let's say you are on a par five and you hit drive halfway, you can't re-tee up and the driver's only good on the tee, so you pull out a 3 wood or something in that range to kind of knock it the rest of the way over. So it's better on driving on ground and it doesn't hit quite as far. The driver should get you most of the way and then the 3 wood should put you there. Anyway, I hit one out with the 3 wood as well. The manager came back and was like, "Hey, stop. This is your last warning." I was like, "Okay, okay." And I switched to another club and it was again less powerful. But I forget what the club was. It wasn't a wedge. I don't know. It was in between like a 3 wood and a wedge, but I'm just blanking on the name. We'll just call it like a 9 iron, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't a 9 iron. Anyway, cracked it again. Went over the net, and I wasn't even trying to hit it over the net that time. It was definitely more than a 9 iron. I don't think you could hit that far in a 9 iron. Anyway, maybe it was. I don't know. Anyway, manager came over and they're like, "Okay, you're done. You could leave. The rest of your family, they could stay and hit, or the rest of the people that are with you." I think I was with friends actually. Um, can stay and play. You're not allowed to hit any more balls." And I was like, "Well, can I at least stay and eat and not hit anything?" And they're like, "Yeah, but you have to order right now." And it was interesting. It got real interesting real fast. But apparently one of my friends, there was like an interstate running behind, which is why I think they were so um like strict on it. And apparently one of my friends claims to have seen the ball bounce on the interstate, but I don't know how anyone could possibly see that far. They weren't using binoculars or anything. I mean, I have 2020, but yeah, so that's how I got kicked out of Top Golf. But not all Top Golfs, just the one in Florida that is near where I used to live. So maybe I'll try to get kicked out of another one. Let's see. Go 2 for 2. But yeah, Top Golf is great. The problem is finding people who want to go for me. I know a lot of people that like they'll go bowling. Honestly, bowling I've I've went bowling with some friends and all of them tell me bowling sober is like the worst thing. I only do things sober. I don't particularly like bowling. Maybe that's why. But I guess it's kind of like bowling where people are like, nah, but people would rather go bowling than Top Golf, I guess. But it can be an event if you get the right people together for sure. Um, Another thing that I really, really miss that I haven't done in probably a couple years because it just hasn't lined up is haunted houses. Not like those crappy like Universal Studios or like theme park ones where it's like a rolling haunted house where everyone's walking and you can see obviously 30 feet or maybe 20 or 10 feet ahead of you. There's like a person jumping out and scaring people. Um, that's that's not the kind of one that I'm talking about. I'm talking about where they like let you in groups of 5 or 6 and you just hear people screaming in the background, whether it's an actor or an actual person. But you're just going through completely blind through a haunted house. Love it. Just big fan, big fan. I'm hoping to do one of those eventually too. I don't know. I will be going about the time when they're active, so maybe we'll see. Maybe I'll make a. I don't know if they'll let me record in a haunted house, but maybe I'll make a video where I'm chilling in a haunted house or going to one or whatever. There's some really good ones in New York too. So there's like ones where you have to like sign a waiver because they don't want you to sue them. I'm trying to go to one of those. Like, yeah, the best haunted house I'd ever been to. They created like this circuit, like normal, but each room was meant to target a specific common phobia. So they had like arachnophobia room, a claustrophobia room, a trypnophobia, like just kind of. They even had like whatever the phobia is for long words, and it's really funny because that's a long. The phobia for long words is a long word. They had like an insane asylum thing with like super long words on the wall and like people's like banging their heads against the wall. Escape room, yeah, escape room's cool. Um, I like those, but I get a bit too intense in escape rooms because you got like the time limit and you got some people there that are trying to just have fun. And then you got me who's trying to set a new record. And when you have someone who's trying to have fun and someone who's trying to set a new record in the same room and they're just kind of like counting things, I get real frustrated real quick in escape rooms. There's so much fun, but I need the right group of people who are also trying to set a record. Um, I went with a friend once who was like, I was young, and I thought was just gonna set the record easily, and they were like kicking back on like suitcases or something because it was like the inside of like a train station, um, and I was like, I was off doing a thing. I solved a whole nother part, like a whole separate room, and I came back in and they had like one simple code they were supposed to solve, and I was like, we got into it, but it was funny. We laughed about it after. But yeah, I'm an Aries, so I can be a bit. If you're not the best, then you got to try to be or something. I don't know. Oh, I guess probably gonna wrap this up soon. I mean, I got 5 minutes left, but I'm gonna show. I guess I never ended up showing the aftermath of the forest fire. Let me see if I can get a better angle on it. Hold on. Up close and personal. I don't even know if you could see it. So, that's the top. That's the top of my head. Not losing any hair. Sounds good. um, okay, orient here. This is where the fire was. Kind of goes all down and up over there. I don't know if you can see. This is like green here, and this is like black. It's very clear in person, but maybe not over the live. But essentially, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's like this big black scorch mark, like it's been, I mean, well, I guess like it's been set on fire. Um, but apparently, there was like a cleanup crew that went up to go deal with it, and there's a bunch of animals that were caught that didn't get away. It's like a government thing they decided to do, but I don't know if the government actually did it or if the townspeople set it on fire because they petitioned the government to set it on fire and the government didn't. So it was a lot less controlled. I have no idea what exactly happened. I got very little information about it. Luckily, no one was hurt. No people were hurt. Lots of animals were hurt in the process. But yeah, it's sad. But I mean, they said they needed to blaze it for some reason. No one really said why. They said they needed to blaze it for some reason. So that's what they decided to do. Hey, how's it going, Tyler? Thanks for joining. Welcome. To those of you that are just joining, feel free to drop any questions. I'd be happy to answer them. I was just talking about the recent forest fire that we had. This is kind of a scorch mark here. It kind of goes up around and over here, so all of that area. Yeah, it's very visible in person, but not so much over the camera. So yeah, there were it's interesting, but that's the kind of chaotic stuff you kind of have to get used to here in Peru. People just decide to do things and just don't really pay attention to consequences on things. That's an everywhere thing. That's not just a Peru thing, but the not looking at the consequences of things is much larger scale here. So like in the US, someone will do something dumb and maybe put cones too far out on a road so it stops traffic and you get like a traffic jam. Here they set an entire mountain on fire and they're like, oh shoot, there was animals there. But that's not everywhere either. It just happens to be, it's just very lax here. So people will just kind of do things and not really worry about the consequences because not many things kind of clap back instantaneously with consequences. Obviously, all of the dead animals up there is a consequence that people are caring about now, but at the time it wasn't. So, yeah, I'm wrapping up here in the next few minutes or so. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any last minute questions. Otherwise, there's the Orco. No, I caught him right. You guys saw that. I caught him red-handed. Hey, and he's gone. But I caught him dirt-faced, I guess I should say. Is it easy to make friends with the locals? Depends where you are and the locals' perception on. It depends your ethnicity, where you are, and the locals' perception of your ethnicity. The reason why I have to make those distinctions is because there is, I guess you can't necessarily call it racism. Maybe it's nationalism. Basically, Peruvians and Venezuelans, the Peruvians don't really get along with the Venezuelans because they feel like they bring crime and a bunch of stuff. But anyway, even me as like from the US, it doesn't seem like they look at me like I'm white and they're going to treat me a certain way because I'm white. It seems like they look at me like I'm American because they don't make any decisions until I speak, or they look at me as if I'm from the UK if I had a British accent, but they like wait until you speak to make a decision. So it doesn't feel like racism per se. It feels like nationalism, I guess, where like they judge you based on your nation, and their nation. I wouldn't call Peruvians nationalists, where their nation is the best nation, but they judge nations. They judge people based off the nations which they come from. Anyway, it depends on who you're around and what their perception of you, the nation that you're coming from is, because there are people here in my area who are fond of Americans, and there are people in my area who are not fond of Americans, and both are fine. I completely understand why someone would be fond and not fond of Americans. We pretty typically show up on time, do the things we need to do, but we tend to be abrasive. We get to the point rather quickly. We move forward quickly. We're always in a rush to do things. Now, of course, you got East Coast, West Coast, all that stuff. But essentially, if you compare a normal American to like a normal Peruvian, we're much more like chop, chop, chop. Let's get things done. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Hi, Scorpion Queen. I know it's a long-winded answer, but I feel like it's necessary to kind of understand. So, long story short, yes, it is. As long as you're around people who are open and available and like open to being friends with Americans or whatever. Yeah, thanks, Tyler. Otherwise, no, if you're in an area like Urubamba, I struggled to make friends for a few reasons. First of all, it was a very local town. They didn't look highly on Americans for the most part, it seemed. And looking highly doesn't mean they did anything necessarily wrong, but I was constantly fighting with them over prices and I always looked like a money bag to them, even though I didn't necessarily have money. I always looked like a money bag. But in the area that I'm in now, they're more used to American travelers, so there's more people who are more open to American travelers. Also, Orko makes me a lot of friends because Orko has no inhibitions and will run up and like wiggle like he's ready for someone to pet him, and usually people are friendly after that, very friendly. But I would say overall the people here are much nicer and much friendlier. So like almost everyone says good afternoon, good evening, good night. Um, Unless they're in a rush or busy, it's a pretty common thing. Um, but yeah, I hope you all are doing well. I'm gonna pick up a few last minute questions. I guess I'll stay until 5:35 my time or 6:35 your time. I think. I'll answer any questions you guys have. Otherwise, it was a pleasure talking. I love seeing you guys every single time. I love doing these lives, and I'm excited to get my phone back. Um, I much prefer the phone mobile live thing. It's just a better experience overall. Tourism been big overseas the past couple of years. Yeah, it seems to have been growing since COVID. From what the research that I've actually looked at statistics about this, it's been continuously growing with COVID. So people are traveling more and there are less flights. So that's why the flight prices are going up. At least they were. I don't know if that's fixed. I'm glad the locals are treating. Yeah, locals treat people very well. The locals aren't mean. They're very very nice people. So any ethnicity, any nation, any religion that you're from, people are usually pretty open to. The main religion here is Catholicism, so sometimes you get some Catholicism backlash if like you're a religion that the Catholic people don't agree with. But otherwise, locals are super nice. They keep to themselves. They say good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and they really, unless you invite them into your life, they really kind of stay out of it, which is good for the most part. But people are just living their lives, just like everywhere else, you know. Um, it's yeah, it's nice. I guess I'll show you guys the ruins real quick. Is there too much glare? Yeah, there is. I can't show you the ruins. Just kidding. Haha. I tried. You speak good English. You should teach English. Thank you. I actually have a bunch of books, and I had planned to come here to speak English and teach English because I speak Spanish uh, pretty close to fluently as well. So I figured it would be a good opportunity for me to teach the locals. I guess not. It would be a good opportunity for them. I would be doing it for fun and for free. Um, so I have a bunch of like entry to middle level English books that I've been meaning to set up English classes. But here in in this side of Cusco, I guess, um, there's more English speakers. So I don't know that this is the place. I was thinking about potentially setting up a trip maybe once a month to go teach English at a different town where it'll be much more useful. Um, So I'll probably make a video about that. That's a massive undertaking. Um, so I'll probably make it when I come back once rainy season starts. It's a bit warmer. People are more likely to come out to things. So I'm actually going to pick up my phone. I'm going to New York in the next couple to few months. I haven't set a date definitely yet, but I'm going to go pick it up. So it's actually waiting for me right now. Just sitting in a box in someone's house waiting for me to grab it. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. I'll have it soon enough. I just don't want to ship it and have to deal with it getting lost again and making another insurance claim and or someone stealing it out of the mail or whatever. Things go wrong here, and if it was like a $10 shirt, fine. If it's a phone, like an iPhone 15, just not worth it because I don't want to have to pay the claim fee. If I even can, I think I can only claim once a year, um, as long as there's not a pattern to it. Yeah, yeah, me too. I'm glad to be getting my phone too. But otherwise, it was a pleasure speaking to you guys today. Um, I would love to talk to you again next week, Bill, Scorpion, and Tyler. Love seeing you guys every time. Appreciate you guys logging on and watching. And I love talking with you guys live. And I'll do it again next week. Good to hear from you too. Talk soon, guys. See you soon.